You have no doubt heard about Starbucks and their latest scandal, with mainstream coverage from coast to coast aired to shame the company for an incident that happened earlier this week. Two men were sitting at a table in Starbucks for several hours, waiting for a friend to arrive, and had not purchased anything. After somebody from the store asked them to purchase something if they were going to stay, they refused, and when asked to leave, they refused. At this time, the police were called, and the men were escorted off the property.
Starbucks coffee is anti-black.
Starbucks coffee is anti-black.
Starbucks coffee is anti-black.
I don't see anything outrageous about this. If you are on private property and you are asked to leave and refuse, you are open to be removed from the premises. If this was a bum at a gas station or a non-patron sitting at a table at a Denny's, the same case would stick, right? There would be no reason for worldwide social outrage over this, would there? Well, as it turns out, these two men were of God's second favorite people.
The woman says for paying customers that are out there to eat. They didn't do anything.
You can tell by the way these men are dressed that they were clearly about to discuss current events and the stock market. You might be thinking to yourself, this still changes nothing, right? If you owned a business and people are using your Wi-Fi, your restrooms, services provided to customers, wouldn't you have every right to have them removed? Is that not one of the functions of a sane society? But of course, this was made to be about America's supposed struggle with race relations. After protests, and that's right, you heard me correctly, protests at Starbucks, featuring that chapter of BLM, occurred on private property while people that worked there looked on in horror. This looks like something that would have happened in that movie Clerks. Just look at that cashier. They still would have had every right to call the police on these people as they were protesting on private property. Imagine how any potential customers might feel, but then again, the type of people who would go to Starbucks, generally speaking, are the type that would jump at the chance to virtue signal. Why didn't they call the police to stop this angry mob from ruining a day's business? Well, I don't think it's unlikely that these people were ordered by upper management to allow it. The CEO not only publicly apologized, but the man who called the police was fired, to the delight of the protesters. That's what they really wanted, some entry-level person's job. So graceful, so progressive. On top of that, the CEO met with the men who were arrested, which seemed more like a shaming ritual than anything else.
I walk in and I don't order anything and I'm dressed like this, no manager's calling the police on me.
All of this propaganda surrounding this event is just more of an attempt to incite racially fueled discord within our society. This man wasn't arrested because he was black. If he was wearing a suit and looked like, I don't know, a little bit more presentable, they probably would have waited longer to ask him to leave. They would have still asked him to leave at one point. These protesters, these outraged people on social media, and even to a lesser extent Starbucks themselves, are making this out to be about race, as if some secret alt-righter got a job at Starbucks. But you've seen Starbucks. You've likely been there before. It is an overwhelmingly liberal atmosphere. A little bit too much for some people. And I have my doubts, to say the least, that they had some secret racist person working there.